Hello and welcome to Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. We are your hosts, Vidas
and
We've been mastering secrets of organ playing for more than 20 years and sharing them on this blog since 2011.
On this show, which we create from our home in Vilnius, Lithuania, we strive to help you grow in every area of organ playing, including practice, technique, repertoire, sight reading, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory, harmony, and many others.
Our hope is to help you become a complete musician, or what we call as total organist, a program which we have created to help you reach your dreams faster than you would do on your own.
If you are new here, we invite you to subscribe to receive free updates of this blog at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video how to master any organ composition and 10-day organ playing mini course.
And now let's go to the podcast for today. Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Usha.
Let's start episode 375 of Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. This question was sent by Howard, and he writes, Hello Vidas, Happy New Year, and I'm wishing you all the best for Total Organist in 2019. I noticed and appreciate the program you did on piston programming for larger modern organs. I have another question inspired by today's topic on I cannot use someone else's fingerings. This is exactly my problem that is holding me back from becoming a full subscriber to Total Organist. But my question is more direct, and I'm hoping you will consider it as a program topic, or as a direct answer to me, your choice. Basically, as I understand it, the fingerings for early music, which to be honest is 90% of the material that you offer for study, those fingerings are for Baroque style keyboards, which are much shorter than AGO spec keyboards. I'm wondering why the focus on using fingerings inspired by these older keyboards. I'd say that 99% seriously of the music that I own does not have fingerings. One of the exceptions is a Kalmus edition of several Mendelssohn works, including all 6 sonatas. I've spent the most time with Sonata number 4 in B flat major. The fingerings suggested and the fingerings that make sense to me are not even from the same planet, especially the third movement. The way the Kalmus editor fingered it, the running figure in the left hand is entirely independent from the right hand, completely. I've worked very hard on doing it this way, but my natural inclination is to pass notes back and forth between the hands, and I can do this and still preserve the independence of the polyphony. I know that you have fingered the Widor Toccata and a few other modern works, and I'm assuming you use modern fingerings for those, but I can't help but wonder why you don't just make life easier for yourselves and use modern fingering for everything. Is there really something to be gained by using early fingering at all in the 21st century, especially for Bach, who, it must be said, transcended his time period? And here is one more idea for a program topic that you may or may not want to touch. 2 years ago on my way to church, I had a hard fall on my left side. When I got up, I realized I had bashed my left hand and my pinky finger was bleeding slightly. I was playing the Cortege and Litany that Sunday by Dupré. I thought I was just a little sore and could play through it, but ever since then, the pinky and ring finger on my left hand refused to open fully. Only a very, very few people know this. My employers do not know. I can still play most things as before, but the big stretch near the beginning of Cortege and Litany is impossible. Scalic passages that should naturally begin with the left hand pinky or ring finger are extremely hard now and often don't work. To be honest, it has affected my typing much more than my organ playing. I used to be a terrific typist, but now the left hand keys are impaired. I am terrified of having surgery done because of A. The potential downtime and impact on work, and B. The potential for success of such surgery. I did see an occupational therapist and had several weeks of various stretching exercises that produced no results. I've heard a colleague who seems to have a similar injury, except his has no known cause. He has stepped down from playing, but his church is still paying him to be a music director. I have another acquaintance with a similar problem, Dupuytren's contracture, and has had 2 unsuccessful hand surgeries. My hand therapist didn't even know what to call my injury. She just says it's weird. That wasn't encouraging, so I stopped going to appointments. I'm beginning to wonder about why this has happened, because more recently, about 3 years ago, or 3 months ago, I had someone crush my hand in a handshake. All the fingers of my right hand have recovered fully except the ring finger, which is trying to act like the one on the left hand. I knew of musicians who refused to shake hands, but I've never thought I was worthy of that kind of concern. My attainments have been so humble. Do you have any experience with occupational injuries and what musicians do about them? There you have it, more than you wanted to know about my travails, but I don't have anyone else I can tell. Anyway, don't think about this too much. I'm working, I'm not suicidal. I'm just wondering if there is more I could do, or what someone else might do in the same situation. Be well, Howard. And that's a long story, Ausra.
It is.
Let's start with the occupational hazards. And probably a person like Howard should consult many different or several different physicians.
You know, if I would be a very mean person, I could make a very bad joke about, his question. Because I could relate the second part with the first part.
Uh-huh.
Because when you were reading that first part, it just took my breath away. And I could tell that all these, professional injuries happens because of not playing, let's say, Baroque music with early fingering. But that's just a joke, really bad joke. But I think there is connection in everything that we do.
But don't you think that if his therapist doesn't even know what to call his injury, probably she's not the person to help him?
Yes, it seems to me that he has to change, his doctor.
And probably go to several different people to check their opinions. Right, and sooner or later, maybe sooner than later, he will find a person who will know what to do in his situation, what caused this, and how to treat it.
But in general, I think that every person has sort of, limitations of the joints and of the fingers, and probably, there is a limit of the movements that you can make in your lifetime. Maybe for some it's, I don't know, hundreds of millions, movements. For somebody is less than that, and maybe, he is having overused syndrome.
I'm wondering if he is wearing any rings on his fingers.
I don't know, but rings are bad, actually.
In
most of the cases for musicians, I wouldn't wear rings. But if such a action as shaking the hand might hurt his hands, that is really bad. It just shows that something is really wrong with his hands, and that he needs a serious attention from a good physician.
Exactly. So talking about the first part, it's a little bit easier, right?
Well, I wouldn't want to go into those details because I think I had talked about it many times, and I think everybody who listen to my talk knows my opinion about how I feel about playing Baroque music. Well, I guess if I would live all my life somewhere in the United States where I would not have an access to the historical based instrument, although there are places that you can do that in the United States as well. Let's say in Oberlin, I don't know, in Omaha, St. Cecilia's Cathedral, and there are all other wonderful places where you could go and try those wonderful instruments. Well, but I'll just try to give one example with the food. Imagine that you have, let's say, cheeseburger from McDonald's, yes, and cola, and you have wonderful, nice French meal with good wine. I mean, they both are food, yes, and you would satisfy your hunger maybe with eating both of them. But in terms of quality, would you still disagree that French meal is better and has a higher value?
Obviously, the answer is very clear.
And I don't know that maybe somebody who loves fast food would still argue with me, but.
In which sense are you comparing modern fingerings with fast food? Can you clarify?
Well, I'm just talking that early fingering does not work for late pieces, yes, of romantic and later period, but that modern fingering, it doesn't work for early music. And seems like Howard is not very happy that we deal so much with early music. But let's face it, Bach is the main composer for the organ. I doubt that anybody would argue that. So, come on, Bach wrote, composes music in Baroque period.
And I would add that the reason we are using early fingerings for early music is that, well, it makes sense because it's early music. You don't know if you will have a chance to visit an early instrument.
And even if you don't have a chance, even if you are playing on average American modern instrument, you still need to articulate. So it still makes sense to use early fingering.
When you use modern fingering, you have to think about articulation mentally. And when you are thinking, you are missing something, probably in the middle voices, in the pedals too. Right? You're aware of some significant details, but not everything. When you, on the contrary, are using early fingerings, it takes care for itself. Right? No, for example, a simple fact that the same intervals, as a rule, are played by the same fingers. For example, an interval of the 6 can easily be played by the fingers 1 and 5. And if you have parallel 6, you play 1 5 1 5 1 5 by 5 1 5 and so forth. It seems detached and unmusical, but we are not advocating for playing unmusically. We are recommending to play those intervals as slurred as possible, but not legato. That's in between of legato and non-legato, in a singing manner which Bach would call cantabile manner of playing. Would you agree?
Yes, because look, if really you are professional, you need to notice those subtle things that might not understood by amateurs. And if we would tell you just play whatever and play however you want, we wouldn't be professionals. So we teach what we believe in. But you know, it's up to you to choose either believe us or not, because it's a free world, and you do whatever you want to do.
And there are people who play early music with modern fingerings. And if Howard would rather, play early music with modern fingerings, then probably he would find more benefit from studying with them, right?
Sure, of course.
That's simple. We're not trying to convert people who don't believe what we say, right? Everybody has their own choices and preferences, and people like us tend to stick in our circle, right?
That's right.
People who trust us, right? That's very simple. So that's a lot to think about it, but obviously fingerings are just a simple detail, but I worry about Howard's hands. So he should really seek out several physicians and get several opinions about his hands, what's happening.
But actually nowadays many people get that, wrist surgery because of, problems similar to Howard's. And not only those, musicians, but also those who work on the computer a lot too. So you are not alone.
Exactly. Thank you, guys. I hope this was useful. And please send us more of your questions. We love helping you grow. And remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.
This blog is supported by Total Organist, the most comprehensive organ training program online, where you will find courses for every area of organ playing, including technique, practice, sight reading, repertoire playing, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory and harmony, with hundreds of scores and thousands of exercises. Here is what some of the students are saying.
Hugh writes, "The sight reading course has helped me tremendously. Thank you very much for your essays, courses, and all your help."
Robert writes, I found the fingerings, registration ideas, and general comments to be excellent.
John writes, I have found your download very helpful. It was really excellent. I have watched some of your teaching videos, and when I read your instructions, I tried to imagine you are there teaching me. You may feel disappointed that I am 2-3 days behind, but I am a slow learner, and I have committed to taking the time to get it right, as you say. But the other night my wife commented that she had never heard me play such a detailed melody in the left hand so well. My left hand is generally poor.
Robert writes, it has been a great pleasure in my life of having discovered your courses and material as well as the YouTube work of recordings. You have a calm and pleasant way of teaching.
Ron writes, Hi Vidas and Osha, thank you guys. What a wonderful response to my email note to you. You've got me right, and I feel you understand my level of playing. Yes, at home, and lucky that I have an organ for that reason. I am paying attention to this, and I am going to try this haha no longer secret model. Yes, and I love Cesar Frank too. What is very nice about your blog podcast is that Osha and Vidas are like a Socratic dialogue, and by bouncing things off of each other, so much more information comes out and is expressed. Your comments contain a wealth of information and understanding. I really appreciate this. It is very inspiring and will keep us moving forward.
Would you like to receive the same or even better results that our students are getting? If so, join them at organduo.lt/total-organist. And of course, you will get the first month free too. You can cancel anytime.
Also, if you haven't yet subscribed to receive free updates of this blog, make sure you do that at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video, how to master any organ composition, and 10-day organ playing mini course.
This was Vidas
and Osha from Secrets of Organ Playing.
And remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.